The Last Goodbye. My name is David, and I am 45 years old. Today I want to share a story that still brings tears to my eyes. A story about love, loss, and the pain of saying goodbye. I had a younger brother. His name was Samuel, but I always called him Sam. He was 3 years younger than me, full of energy and always smiling. While I was the quiet one, Sam was the light in every room. He could make anyone laugh with his jokes, and he had a heart so big it seemed there was no end to his kindness. We grew up in a small town, in a house with a garden full of flowers that our mother loved. Our father worked long hours, so it was usually just the three of us, me, Sam, and Mom. We would play in the backyard, chasing each other until we were out of breath. Those days felt endless, filled with simple joys and childhood innocence. But life doesn't stay simple forever. When I was 20 and Sam was 17, he started to feel sick. At first we thought it was just a cold. He was always tired and lost his appetite. Our mother took him to the doctor thinking it was something small, but after many tests and hospital visits, we heard the words that broke our hearts. Sam had leukemia. I didn't understand at first. I thought he would get medicine and be fine. But as weeks passed, I saw my brother change. He lost his hair because of the treatments. His smile, once so bright, became weaker. He tried to stay strong for us, but I could see the pain in his eyes. Our mother did everything to keep his spirits up. She would read him stories, cook his favorite meals, even when he could barely eat, and play his favorite music. I remember sitting beside him, holding his hand, and telling him about my day, even when he was too tired to respond. One evening, as the sun was setting, Sam looked at me with his soft brown eyes and said, "David, promise me something." I held his hand tighter. "Anything, Sam. Promise me you'll keep living, even when I'm not here." Tears rolled down my face, but I nodded. "I promise." A few weeks later, Sam's condition worsened. He had to stay in the hospital. The nurses were kind, and the doctors did their best, but there was nothing more they could do. I spent every night by his side, afraid that if I left, he would slip away without me. Then, one cold morning, I woke up to the sound of silence. I looked at Sam, and he was still, his chest no longer rising and falling. His hand, which I held through the night, was cold. He was gone. I didn't cry right away. It felt unreal, like I was trapped in a bad dream. Our mother arrived a few minutes later, and when she saw Sam, she fell to her knees, sobbing. I held her, but I felt empty, like a part of me had died with him. The days after Sam's death were a blur. The funeral was simple, just close family and friends. I stood by his grave, staring at the cold stone with his name on it, and I remembered his words. "Promise me you'll keep living." But how could I live without him? For months, I isolated myself. I didn't want to see anyone. Our home felt too quiet without Sam's laughter. His room stayed untouched, his books, his clothes, everything just as he left it. Sometimes I would sit on his bed, hoping to feel close to him again. One day, I found a letter under his pillow. It was addressed to me. Dear David, if you're reading this, it means I'm gone. I'm sorry for leaving you and Mom, but please don't be sad for too long. I want you to remember the good times, our games in the backyard, the silly jokes, and the way we used to sneak cookies before dinner. I know it hurts now, but life is still beautiful. Go outside, see the world for both of us, smile for both of us, love for both of us, and never forget, I'll always be with you. Your brother forever, Sam. I broke down after reading his words. It was the first time I cried, really cried, since his death. That letter saved me. It reminded me that even though Sam was gone, his love and spirit were still with me. I started to go on walks, just like he wanted. I reconnected with friends, spent more time with my mother, and slowly I began to heal. Now, whenever I see a beautiful sunset, I imagine Sam smiling down at me. I know he would be proud that I kept my promise. If there's one thing I want you to take from my story, it's this. Love never truly dies. Even when someone we love leaves this world, their memory and the impact they had on our lives stay with us. So hold on to the people you love. Tell them how much they mean to you. And when they're gone, keep their spirit alive by living a life they would be proud of. Because even in the darkest moments, love will always light the way.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. See you soon.